Fred Warner, the new spokesman of the 49ers, went on the radio. I believe it was KMBR. If it wasn't, I apologize. KMBR 95.7, one of the two, and said that Dee Ford looks great and is coming back to the 49ers and going to contribute this year. What do you make of Fred Warner saying this, and do you buy it?
No. What's he supposed to say? He's the leader of the team, right? So, like, what is he? What do you expect him to say? Oh, like, man, Dee Ford really looks like trash right now. Like, I don't know if he's gonna come back. Like, that's what he's supposed to say. I mean, Kyle would have probably said the same thing, and John Lynch would 100%. So, I don't know if I see it, like, if he comes back, if Dee Ford comes back and produces, I'm going to say this team is going to have a good year. And also, if Dee Ford comes back and produces, like, we should take whatever Fred Warner says is gospel, because I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I don't put any stock into this. I mean, Fred Warner's a lot like Robert Saleh. And Robert Saleh, it's not that he would lie. It's just he's not a doctor. And if someone asked him a question about someone's medical stuff, he'd either say, I don't know, or probably not a big deal. Like when Dee Ford got hurt last year during training camp, he just left one day. And so I was like, yeah, it's no big deal. And they never played again. So it's like, does he know? Does he not? We'll never really know. But it seems like what Fred Warner's doing is kind of like what Robert Saleh would do is I'll be a leader. I'll say something positive, and maybe I'll speak it into existence. And if he doesn't come back, what are you going to do?
It's coach speak.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Yeah.
He's the leader for a team. I mean, now he 100% sure is the leader, right? He just got his contract. So I mean, he's going to be leader for a while. So
yes.
That's what leaders do. They embolden people. He's trying to buff him up. Also, additionally, like, especially in a sport like football, people can look really good on air, and then when contact starts happening, things can break down. Like Dee Ford could be out running and like, wow, he looks awesome, he looks explosive and all that, and all of a sudden you put bodies around him, and then now that knee starts ailing and all that stuff. Yeah, and also the rigors of practice too. It's like, I mean, we all know that Kyle doesn't run lax practices, right? It's really up tempo and you're going like, and when Dee Ford is out there and he's running or doing whatever Fred Warner sees, that's in a controlled environment. He's controlling it. So I'm sure he's taking whatever rests and breaks he needs and spacing workouts out. So it's not the same. I don't know if Dee Ford, if anything they get from Dee Ford is extra. So
what I hear here is like Fred Warner saying he's not retiring yet. Like he should be in great shape. He hasn't played in a year.
Yeah.
He's 30 years old. He's under contract for a couple more years. And he's a good player. So he should at least be in good shape. I would imagine he's working out. And the fact that he can run around with no contact is, I guess, a good sign. But the question really with Dee Ford is how many practices can he make it through? How many games can he make it through? Because last year he made it through one game. And the year before he made it through what? Like,
I don't know, like
10, 11, something? I mean, not much. So how is his body, can it take much more contact? And I don't even think no one knows.
Yeah.
At least of all Fred Warner. I mean, Fred Warner's not supposed to know. He's just supposed to say, looks good, running around right now. Great. Is he going to practice in training camp? Are we going to see him practice in training camp? As good, everyone's talking up Fred Warner. We going to see him? I mean, everyone's talking up Dee Ford. Are we going to see him in training camp? Or is he going to be on the sideline running sprints?
Probably on the sideline. I don't anticipate him being, I don't think he'll be in training camp much. It's that he's got serious ailments and injuries and he's, even when he came to the Niners, right, it was a chronic knee. That's why the Chiefs traded him. And now it's knee and back. Like that.
Back is worse.
Yeah, that's pretty serious. I mean, your back is your core. Like if your back isn't upright, then or your back isn't intact, it's going to affect your entire body. obviously your knee is going to affect any walking or running or those sort of things. But if you sit down, there's not much pressure or exertion on your knee, but like your back, I mean, you can't get away from putting any sort of exertion on your back. I mean, you can probably lay down, but what good does that do for it?
That's what Larry Bird did. Yeah. Seems to me that with Dee Ford, you're expecting, if he gives you anything, that's great. Because as James Foster points out, they spent a lot of money on Samson Ebukam. They can't be expecting much for Dee Ford. They also brought in Arden Key. Ford would be the cherry on top. I think the way they handle him, or you should handle him, is no practices. I mean, you cannot let Dee Ford get hurt in a practice again. No more practices. Let him do wind sprints and lift weights and see like how many games he can get through. At least don't get him hurt in practice. And I don't know how many games you'll get him through, but if you can get him through 3, great.
Yeah, but they would have. I mean, if they could, I'm sure they would have cut him. And if they could, they just can't. They can't because he has medical issues. So if they can't cut him, that's why they restructured his deal and he's on the roster. And they're all like, yes, let's go Dee Ford. He's going to be great. He's coming back and all that. They don't have an out. So
right.
And he's not going to retire.
No, he's got a lot of money coming his way. ASIC says, Grant, what do you think about Green Bay falling apart?
What do you think? Are they falling apart?
I mean, what do we know? The contract negotiations have ended between them and Davante Adams, and Aaron Rodgers is holding out. So they could both play this year, but it seems like maybe they don't have much of a future unless Jordan Love is the next Trey Lance.
I mean, no one really saw Aaron Rodgers coming in the first, in the first place. He didn't play for he sat on the bench for like 3 years. I mean, I don't have high expectations for Jordan Love, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. I do think Aaron Rodgers will play this year. I'd be surprised if he doesn't show up to actually play. And obviously, I think the failed negotiations with Davante Adams are probably directly related to their relationship with Favre. I mean, not Favre, Aaron Rodgers.
Ekim saying Dee Ford can't be cut due to his injury guarantees in his contract due to the CBA clause of not passing a physical at the start of the NFL year. Yeah, so as long as he is making an honest effort to recover and train and play football, they have to keep paying him.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's with that amount of money, he doesn't want to retire. Like, why would you?
No, he's not his fault. He's not a malingerer. He's injured. It's part of the game. The Niners knew it there. It's cost of doing business. He's gonna get some more checks. Good for him. Get those checks.
All right. He should.